Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Friday, January 26th, wrapping up the week and almost done with the month of February. Got a couple of days left next week, month of January. We've got a couple of days next week, then we'll be moving into February. Everything is looking very positive today. Before I dig into crypto, figured smart to talk about PCE considering how much we talked about it this week. PCE came in as expected at 2.6%. Core PCE dropped. So both PCEs are now in the twos. Remember, the Fed has a 2% inflation target. So we are very, very close to final target. Still a lot of work to go because you're going to watch these inch lower very slowly. But, 2.6, we're only 0.6 away from 2%. And core, I would expect will eventually follow into the middle of the year and end. So everything is very positive there. Just going to kind of dive into DXY and equities before we talk about crypto. DXY did sell off, is kind of holding it on to dear life in this range, still below the 1 hour estimated or the 12-hour estimated 200 moving average, as well as this 103.6 resistance. So still looking like a rejection is going to be likely, but it's still obviously ranging. I thought we'd get a larger reaction from PCE, but the good news is equities are up. We did make a fresh high today. Moral of the story is exactly what we talked about yesterday, above 4,900, 4,950 or higher. And then just for kind of range purposes, we've been drawing those range levels. You've got, actually, I'll just kind of draw the lines here. You've got supports right here. Your resistance is right here at 4,900. And then you've got kind of like a little bit of support right here, which also coincides with the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average. And then you've got kind of this gap down here. So if we break below 48.90, we'll tag probably 48.70, 48.66. Break below 48.70, 48.66, drop down to 48.40. Break below 48.40, back to 48.20. But I do think that we're probably going to, continue to inch higher, more or less. Maybe we drop back right here and then kind of move higher. Maybe we, drop right here and then move higher. But I do think equities look really good, especially with PCE coming in the way it did. Should definitely continue to allow the market to at least believe that the Fed is doing everything they need to do. They're on track. Seems like cuts are going to come this year at some point. So everything is looking good in the TradFi world. So back to crypto, total crypto market cap 1.6 trillion. Average daily sentiment, a little bit lower than yesterday, interestingly enough. Bitcoin up 4%, still neutral sentiment, but a little bit higher. ETH up 3%, sentiment, still neutral, but, dipping into bullish territory. Tweet volume still down. Total trading volume around 50. Definitely want to see that pick up a little bit, but we are heading into the weekend, so I'm not gonna harp on that too much. Some interesting coins up: Gala, Aurora, Sushi, Storage. And then we had some massive exchange inflows very early. We did have some large outflows, oddly enough, but it does seem like the inflows have matched or beaten those outflows. So people still very interested in buying the dip, and obviously dip is getting eaten up across the board today. So Bitcoin daily sentiment still, it's starting to curl back up. We definitely want to see a little bit more curl, get that back up to 50 or higher, but definitely positive. ETH did make it back up into bullish territory yesterday after we spoke. It is bouncing at the 50 level, so definitely want to see that continue to move higher. After bouncing at the 50, if we do drip a little bit lower, could signal some more ETH weakness. So worth keeping an eye on that one. Looking at Bitcoin price action. So we, our levels, worked pretty much perfectly. First rip was up to 40.7, second rip was up to 41.5. Remember, 41.5 was that low that we marked out, talked about quite often way back in mid-January. I mean, way back, 12 days ago, but feels like forever. So we can get above 41.5, which does seem likely right now. 42.7, definitely the next target. And then hopefully, we can start talking about 43.1 and getting back above this little area right here. So I think I think we're probably going to zoom up here. But the question is, do we get rejected hard once we kind of really start moving into this area of value? So That is the main concern. And obviously, if we break back beneath 41.5, 40.7, beneath 40.7, 40.2, beneath 40.2, 39.6. So these levels are all going to matter, but I do think we're going to probably end up pressing to 42.7, maybe 43 by tomorrow or by tomorrow or Sunday. The question is, do we get another kind of sell off like we did, last Sunday, where, we thought it was going to be good into the weekend and then we ended up selling off. So that'll be very interesting to kind of check out and see. We are still, I think, did we break the downtrend? Yeah, we definitely broke the core downtrend. So that downtrend was broken, and then it was a bounce. And then that downtrend was broken, and then it was a bounce. So we are breaking these downtrends, but doesn't, mean we're out of the woods yet. So I really want to see us get back above, back above 44. I'm like, okay, we're good. We're back. Things are looking much better. So, we'll wait to see if we get up there. But right now, definitely the right kind of balance that you want to see. We saw this formation once and twice, and both ended up, in sell-off. So now that we're kind of, making our way back a little bit higher, definitely positive indicator. And gives me, some hope for February, especially with, equities looking the way they do and PCE coming in the way that it did. So moving over to ETH, of course, not as, did not move as strong as Bitcoin did, but still, decent little move here. It's getting held up at the weekly VWAP. So we definitely want to see it get above 2268. If that is the case, then we can talk about 2300, 2306. Above 2306, can talk about 2355. Above 2355, we can start talking about 2420 all the way up to 2440. And then if we end up back below 2250, head down to 2224, below 2224, head down to 2160. Then below that, we want to see 2100 hold. So again, not the best movement in the world. I would really have liked to see ETH at 2305 with BTC at 20 or 41.5, but Celsius has been selling a lot of ETH, along with the GBTC sales. So I think ETH is just a little, over suppressed right now. I still like the way that this ETH BTC looks. I definitely want to see it hold up. At the lowest I want to see it go is 0.051. If we lose 0.051, then, a lot of my bullish ETH thesis, won't be that I'm not as bullish ETH, but it'll mean that a lot of my thesis of ETH really powering through post BTC ETF will be a little bit negated. Doesn't mean it's over, but we've still got a lot of room here. So considering we made the higher high, we want to see now a higher low. So hopefully we, form that higher low, above 0.051, but that's kind of the last line in the sand for me. So I'm expecting ETH to kind of eventually work its way back up like that in some way, shape, or form as we head into February and March. So ETH is just kind of a be patient. This is a really good balance. Again, remember we talked on the daily. This is exactly where you wanted to see ETH hold. We are holding. Still got plenty of time left. To see what happens. But things still look good, and we got exactly the print we wanted from TradFi. Everything's up today. This is definitely bodes well for bullishness heading into February. We're still holding on, to a bullish 2024. Again, just very choppy couple of weeks, maybe another choppy week or two ahead, but all results seem to be positive moving into the future. If you're employing dry powder, you're doing what you should do. If you still have a little bit of dry powder left, always smart to have the opportunity to buy a dip or just play the market intelligently. Never want to be really 100% allocated, God forbid, so always good to keep 5-10% on the sidelines in case an opportunity occurs. But everything looks good to me. I'm very positive heading into 2024 and excited for next week. So good luck. Happy trading.